Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Richmond Oval. Steve Erickson, Monica Peterson. Our pleasure to bring you the fencing throughout the course of the day with Magdi when he gets back from his extended little bit of a trip that he made right there. And again, our apologies for taking the break like that, but we're trying to give you the utmost of quality for stream, and that's what our entire goal is throughout the entire day. Of course, sportswave.ca, working with Dave McElroy's company, playfulscreen.com. Very pleased to bring you these.
And thanks for all those people who were asking about Max's bout. I was trying to tweet the scores just in that little break. He's still fencing over on the red piece, and it's in the last period.
Have fun, you're doing a good job.
Okay.
And I think that would finish the bout, and Max, unfortunately, has lost that one. It was a close bout up until the end, but unfortunately Max didn't win that bout. But it was definitely an exciting one over there.
While we're talking to people, etc., I have to tell everybody that when I was talking about my niece, she lives in Browns Flats, New Brunswick. So hello to Tina, and hope you're doing fine back in Browns Flat, New Brunswick.
All right. Well, there's a little bit of break in between bouts. I think that the next round of athletes is going to walk out now. And I'll look at my tableau and see who's going to be fencing in front of us here on the yellow piece. Which I believe will be his New Zealand fencer, who's actually living in BC at the moment, against a Swiss fencer who's ranked number 4 in the world, or at that tournament, Kauter Fabian. And that will be the bout that's happening in front of us once they get started.
You guys are doing great.
Thank you.
Talk about whatever.
So, looks like they're actually moving to the red piece for some reason. That's unusual. I'm not sure why the change in piece, but so we'll see who ends up in front of us on the yellow piece. Yeah, things like that happen. Change it up, switch it up. I remember going to a tournament once in Cuba where we were supposed to fence pools, and then there was a mistake, so they had to redo the pools again. And then there was another mistake, so they had to redo the pools again, and then they ended up just postponing the whole thing and doing it the next day, and doing all the pools and the tableau all the way to the finals in one day.
Well, Cuba is a very nice place.
It is. It's a beautiful
and
place.
We used to have training camps in Cuba.
Oh, yeah.
In my time.
Yes.
In my time. They had the World Championship in 1969
yeah.
in Cuba. So in a far beast down there, what is who playing? Who's fencing now?
The bout that was going to be right in front of us on yellow has moved to the red piece. So those were the fencers I was mentioning before. The fencer from New Zealand and from Switzerland.
New Zealand on the right?
New Zealand is on the left.
On the left.
And the Swiss fencer is on the right. So I was mentioning that the fencer from New Zealand is actually living in Vancouver right now.
For the next round of table of 32, please report to the caller. For the next round of the table of 32,
So I believe that this is the last round of the 64s right now.
The last round of 64.
Yes, and then we'll be moving into 32s.
So we finish right now 16 bouts. That is the last one. That's the last one. Again, I noticed in the last 32, all the bouts, they get dynamic in the end. In the beginning, they try to figure out each other. Mm-hmm. They don't rush because maybe that is the way the scoring dictate.
Right.
At 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and that in the first 3 minutes, they figure each other out. And again, once the second 3 minutes is over, the one in behind in the score, he tried to rush it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Sense of urgency always comes at the end. I never fenced a lot of Swiss fencers in foil, but I see a lot of épée.
Well, now women fence all the three weapons.
They do.
Foil,
look at us
saber.
women go. Yep, we fence all three.
Yeah, but do you notice also in fencing? I mean, women does not have that is physiological. Does not have this strength and speed in man in every sport. But again, once in a while, you will find some women are contradicting this kind of theory.
Oh yeah, there's some speedy women out there.
You are one of them, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Well, some of them build for comfort, some build for speed. like men do too.
Yeah.
I hope nobody thinks the chauvinist comments here.
No, I was lucky enough in London to watch all three weapons and watch all the events and see some pretty amazing bouts, both men and women.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
My understanding that this competition did not have, because it happened very suddenly, did not have enough advertisement for the public to know about it.
I don't know. I was actually impressed by the amount of coverage they did get in such a short period of time. There was an article in the Vancouver Sun, and they've had a big push. We had a press conference here last week at the Oval as well.
Really?
So they put in such a short period of time. I'm actually quite impressed by the amount of coverage that it did get. But obviously, if we'd had more time, would have been even better.
And also, my understanding is was no budget for it at all. They just it was very impressive that the organizing committee accepted it and ran away with it without budget at all.
Yeah, always good.
Yeah.
Budgets are always an issue.
Yeah.
But everybody can keep tweeting at me. I'm at Monica Peterson, and try to do my best to answer questions and tell you what I can.
Will you getting all this kind of connection from across Canada, I assume, from Toronto,
from everywhere
to here?
Yeah, and my former teammates that are in Italy are also watching and
really
commenting. Yep.
Give them my regards.
I will.
Who's the coach down there with them?
Paul Apsimon is the coach right now. Yeah.
Well, tell him good luck, and I'm sure he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Will you please don't forget to do that?
I will. I'll make sure.
And say hello to his father. Now, from this side here, I cannot see the score exactly what's happening on the other side. I don't know what the score now. Most likely going through the first 3-minute period.
Yes. I know it would be helpful to see the score, but
yeah, they are on the other side of the arena.
Limitations.
Next year's budget.
Yeah, next year's budget will include some double-sided screens so we can see everything.
The final will be this evening, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be this evening.
It will be in top strip.
Yeah, in the middle of the.
They do all the last 4 matches on the double strip.
Yes, on the raised piece there in the middle.
Explain how this differs from Olympics. The difference between national and Olympic? If you can. I think you can.
Well, in Olympic Games,
There's no fourth. There is a fourth place at the Olympics, and there's no fourth place here.
there's no first place here. They have the first, second, and third. And as we have here right now, we have the yesterday, my understanding was we have pools for all the competitors to participate and to qualify for the last 32 fencers. And the last 32 fencers today competed right now, and they have 16 fencers. The winner, 16 fencers, will be participating after that to create 8 winning fencers. And the 8 winning fencer, they will fence among them. They will fence for 4 places, and the 4 places will be 2 places.
Yeah. So actually, yesterday, the
It's
top
direct elimination.
Yes, it was. So yesterday, the group of people that were competing was everybody except the top 16 ranked fencers who get an automatic bye to the second day, and then after pools, everybody's ranked, and the top 16 people from pools automatically make the second day, and then the remainder of the fencers do direct elimination bouts to complete the tableau of 64, and then the tableau of 64 was started this morning, and these bouts we're watching right now is the last round of 64s.
So right now we're coming out of this round of 32.
This is a 64 bout.
The 64 bout.
So if
now,
the fencer who wins this will move on to the round of 32.
32, and the 32 will become 16.
Yes.
Then become 8.
Yes.
Then become 4.
4, and then become 2, and then
2 and 1. What time the schedule is? The schedule for the final scheduled.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it'll just be as the day progresses, and I think they'll just fence all the way through.
Yeah.
So they're still fencing over there on the red piste.
Thank you. My goodness, dessert as well. Wow.
There's a knife, the fork, if you like. The Swiss fencer just got another hit. And again, the Swiss fencer scores. Both fencers saw it, something happened, and kind of paused for a minute, and then remised. The fencer from New Zealand asked to have his tip checked to make sure it was working, and it wasn't working. So the last point will not be awarded, and he will change weapons. So now that he's got a working weapon, he's going to continue the bout. Oh. The Swiss fencer flashed, but I believe missed his first attempt. Looks like there's more equipment issues. The New Zealand fencer is now going to change his body wire and hopes to solve these issues. A lot of things that can go wrong in fencing. There's always some piece of equipment that seems to need some tweaking. I was lucky enough to have a coach that looked after my equipment for me very nicely.
So do we have a time delay because of equipment problems? And if so, what's the time limit? Can you tell us that?
Well, I mean, you have time to... You're supposed to have spare equipment on the side of the piste, which he did, and he's just switching it up, and then they'll make sure it works and keep fencing.
All right, so they're getting ready to start again. Yeah, this is stuff that is unforeseen.
Yes, absolutely.
And you just sort of have to go with the flow, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's why there's a rule to have spare weapons, spare wires. Everything has to be right next to you so that if it does happen, you're prepared.
And, of course, all their spare equipment, it's all been tested, too.
Yep, tested and goes through a weapon check.
Well, the first thing about any event, and we should make mention that at this event and any events we've had the luxury of covering out here for Dynamo fencing, they used and utilized the aspect of safety first.
Mm-hmm. Very important in fencing to have safety as a top priority. Don't want anyone getting hurt.
No, because it could so easily be done.
Yes.
Because that was when I've been telling different people this past week that we were going to be doing a fencing broadcast. That's the first thing they said. Well, how easy is it for someone to get hurt? Can't they get hurt? So that's one of the questions I always ask.
Yeah, I used to get that a lot as well. I mean, likelihood is probably just as much as any other sport. So actually, you know what? I feel like fencing's probably a bit safer than a lot of other sports.
Yeah, there's no body checking here.
No, not allowed.
No checking, no tackles.
No. Actually, the fencing is halted when the two athletes.
Well, when you get to this level of competition, okay, we've had the winner.
Yeah, the Swiss fencer won that bout.
Pretty commanding from your vantage point?
Yeah. I think he... I mean, I didn't see the score, but I'm going to guess that he was pretty much in control of that bout.
All right, well, I'm going to see if we can get an interview with the Swiss fencer real quick and bring him over here. So I'll just put this down and go grab him.
Steve's going to go and try and grab the Swiss fencer and ask him how he felt about his bout.
Good name. We're joined right now with Fabian, the winner of that last bout. First off, congratulations on that. It's a nice match.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a long time waiting because I came already at 9 or 8 because to cheer for my Swiss buddies. Now it took a while, but I'm happy to fence my first match.
So we're doing this broadcast live on the internet so everybody can see you at home. Tell us where you're from and tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I'm from Switzerland. I live in Bern, that's the capital city. I've been grown up a bit in a fencing family. My father, my uncle, my two uncles, my brother, my cousins, my grandparents.
Wow.
Everybody does fencing, so I hope they're looking right now, and cheers to Switzerland.
No kidding. So you enjoying your time in Vancouver area?
Honestly, I travel a lot, but I've never seen such a beautiful city. I spoke with the Canadian fencers yesterday. I'm a bit shocked, it was so beautiful. We walked in the city and the clean air, the nature so close to the city. Wow, I really love it here.
We get spoiled. You can't be surprised by the mountains, though, because you've got mountains at home, we've got mountains here, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we don't have mountains where you go up and you see to a million city. You know, that's kind of crazy. When this mountain grows,
Grows mountain, yeah.
Yeah, when you see pictures, you have the Swiss mountains, but there you have pure nature, and here nature is combined with big city life, and that's crazy. It's amazing.
So brothers and sisters?
Of course.
How many?
And sister. One brother, one sister. I'm the youngest.
Name?
Michael and Christina.
All right. Do they fence as well?
Yeah, they tried. My sister tried, and my brother was also at the Olympics in Beijing. So yeah, he was a long time my idol, still is, and now he's injured, and hope he's cheering for me at home.
Do you remember when you got the invite saying that you're coming to the Beijing Olympics? What that was like? What thought went through your mind?
No, it was my brother who was qualified.
Do you remember what he happened to tell you?
Yeah, I mean, I was the whole season with him. We did it together. A dream came true. My father was at the Olympics. My brother in London, I was at the Olympics. So all three of us fenced Olympics, and it's just amazing. It's great.
Looking at attending future Olympics at your Sochi?
Of course, Rio is a big goal.
Yes.
I mean, 2016. We always speak about in 3 years, it's going to go very fast, and we try to keep this shape and work hard, and always keep working, and then it's going to happen.
Tell us about the fencing program over in Switzerland. What's it like? Is it large or is it still growing?
Yeah, it's growing extremely good right now. We have great structures, a great president, great people working in the federation, three great national coaches. I guess Switzerland is improving a lot, especially in Epe.
Who are the national coaches? Make mention of them too.
Yeah, it's my coach is Angelo Mazzoni, and there's Gianni Muzio and Hervé Fage. Yeah, great coaches. We have a great spirit in the whole team. We train together. That's how it's supposed to be.
Have you set any long-term personal goals for yourself as to what you would like to achieve, say, within the next 5 years?
5 years is a bit lot, because I don't know. You know, in Switzerland, one day will come the day when you have to go to work. But the goal is 3 years now. Rio for sure. I would like to win a medal, and one big goal is also to win gold at the World Championships with the team Switzerland, because we have a good team. We can really reach this goal and stay healthy and work hard.
Bottom line. Well, I thank you for doing this, and congratulations on coming out successful in this match, and all the best down the road and everything you do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much. Enjoy your day. Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to go back to the broadcast booth over here with Monica and Magdi and see where they're going to send us to next.
against Jason Pryor from the United States. At the yellow table, yellow piece, is Hugues Boisvert Samard from Canada versus Taglio Matteo from Italy. At the green piece, Nikolai Novosjolov from Spain is competing against Benjamin Stepan. Estonia, sorry. And at the red piece, Gabor Bosko is competing against Vadim Anokin from Russia.
I'll turn it up in a minute. Thank you. Go. Thank you, sir.
This one for the.
I'll control yours right now.
This one for mine. This one for yours.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. They've finished their break, Magdi, and they're getting set. Do we know who the two competitors are that are?
We have Canada and Italy.
And Canada's on the,
on the right side.
Looking on the right-hand side right now. So, of course, this is the Vancouver Grand Prix 2013 fencing event brought to you by Dynamo Fencing. Yeah, from the Richmond Oval in Richmond, British Columbia. Our pleasure to bring you this event, and always great to come out and cover fencing. This is a different sport that is not only unique to the world, it's a real art unto itself. It's something that a lot of people have a hard time following, but once they get started in this, Magdi, it seems that they just don't want to turn away from it.
No, especially épée. Épée is a very simple. And right now they have that they be connected wireless.
Their wireless connection now
Wireless
is
connection.
different.
And you
Why?
can see in the light in the mask and the light in the score.
Why the difference?
The wireless is it came lately in last few years.
All about technology, eh?
2-0 for Italia. See the Italian right now. The Italian making the attacks, and the Italian right now is quite successful with 3 touches in a row. He made the attack with Bliss the Fur, taking the blade, and now the Canadian. Yeah, the Italian complained that that the Canadian hit the table, and the judge overruled him. The 3-1 stayed. Score right now 3-1. Still the Italian leads. Counter attack from the Italian 4-1. Canadian attack is very good. It's 4-2. Canadian should attack more.
A little bit more. That's what you've seen in the past.
Yeah. Because if you wait, he made the attack. He buried with opposition. The Italian buried with opposition, and he scored 5-2 for the Italian.
You know, you've got to have a pretty elusive eye to be able to pick up on how you tag. That's the one thing I really credit the referees for in this.
Yeah. Well, actually, right now, the reason the electrical and the light, it helps the referee tremendously for allocating who touch who.
That's exactly true. That's very true. Yes. And of course, this event will go all day through the Richmond Oval until the finals start tonight. And of course, the finals you and I were talking about will be in the center. I believe the last 4 bouts will be in the center of this.
That most likely that will be the case. Right now, the score is 7-2.
7-2 for Italy.
For Italy, yes.
Referee went out to talk to the 2 fencers. Now he's talking to the coach for Italy. Oh, they took 1 point away. Now it's 6-2. So there's discussion. We see one.
Oh, the discussion is he tries to check if the floor is wired, that it does not register touches if you touch it.
So the referee is giving some instructions, talking to both fencers. Now they're resetting the tape on the far side between the two mats. So between the 2 mats is what the young man's checking out. The connection. Obviously, they're working correct. So we're back.
Score is 6-2.
6-2 for Italy.
Attack Cementany, both attacks, both touched.
Both touched?
Yeah.
But they give the point 7-3 right now. So on a double touch, they each get a point.
Yeah. Yeah. The attack from the Italian missed, and the stop touch from the Canadian, 7-4.
Long way to travel for these young fencers to come over and take part in an event like this. And of course, the young gentleman we were just talking to from Switzerland, great wealth of knowledge from his country as well.
Yeah.
8-4 for Italy.
8-4. The Canadian attacked to hit the lower torso as a foot, but Italian withdrew his foot and hit him in the mask.
She's okay. As long as you walk by and keep going, that's fine.
Double touch.
Stop, then we're in trouble.
Double touch. 9-5.
Both very cautious, Maggie.
Yeah, very cautious, but at the same time very aggressive. They don't want to give control to one side, but still the Italian is ahead. The remise of the Italian is 10-5.
11-5. So how long has this internet or wireless technology been involved that you know of?
In the last few years. I don't know exactly what year it started. Before they did not allow it because they were afraid that somebody from outside can control can activate it.
Right.
But right now, it seems to me there is a lot of safety factor involved. That's only the fencer on the strip can activate it with the point of the weapon.
Well, I think in today's world, in modern world, it's only advisable they make changes and continue to grow with technology.
Oh yeah. And the fencing is very fast, as you see. I mean, the eyes does not catch it very fast. You need the electrical.
Well, that's what we were talking about. I mean,
12-6.
When it's electrical, it's a little easier and it helps the referees, but they're doing a great job. Is it a double touch?
Double touch, yeah. The Canadian fencer should be more cautious in his attacks. He
little less aggressive?
Well, he have to be aggressive with a good tactic. but it seemed to me he's not. Double touch again, and 15-7.
15-7, so does that wrap it up for this match?
They wrap it up with this match. The Italian won it.
The Italian won. The Canadian will advance, correct?
No, the Italian will advance.
Oh, yes, correct.
The Italian
will advance. And is Canada in this case
I think
eliminated?
it will be eliminated, yes. That's direct elimination. Direct elimination.
We're going to see if we can get the Italian fencer right now to come over and have the luxury of possibly doing an interview with us. So we're joined right now, by the piece. We're joined by the young gentleman from Italy. First off, congratulations. Nice win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you find that an easy match, or did you find it a little bit tough on your opponent?
No, it's never an easy match. I know Hugo very well, and I know I have to start really hard to win, and that's what I do. It will be a tough match, and it became easy because of my good start.
So for those watching around the world on the internet feed right now, where do you call home, and how many in the family? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, about myself. So I'm a normal guy. So I've been come from Italy. I come from a place near Venice. And I think that my mom and a lot of friends are at home trying to watch the streaming to cheer me, and I hope that the competition will start. We will stop as late as I can.
Oh, good. I hope you're enjoying your time in the Vancouver area.
Yeah, I love Vancouver. I love this place. It's a little bit far from my country, but it's always a pleasure to be here. I think there are all kind people, and also British Columbia is really beautiful.
Good deal. Well, thank you very much for your time, and good luck in everything down the road. Thanks very much. All right, we'll go back over to the broadcast booth and get our views on some of the other matches right behind us.
This is the last.
Yeah.
So he made the first one. He made the first 16.
Yeah.
The Italian made the first 16.
Yes. So Russian. It's and Vadim and Portugal? No. Vadim and whoever won this bout. So that's
They're connected. Right?
no, it's a Hungary. So it's Bosco and something Russian. Vadim and Gabor. Gabor the Hungarian and Vadim the Russian.
So he's fencing on.
They're off.
Oh, they're okay. Good. You knew that. I didn't. I'm just here.
I turn it off. I'm getting the hang of your equipment.
So that's good to know.
Yeah, because I don't want to say something and I'm not in. Is that live?
Pardon me? Yes.
Is that live?
Yeah, when the mics are up,
Yeah.
the feed is live. So when the mics are turned up, anything that you say can be heard.
I know.
If the
I
mics are
already
turned down,
talked to
you're
Marc Andre. We're good.
fine. Okay.
I know.
Yeah, she got a couple of tweets about it too.
I know. They're like, you're saying it wrong.
Not Ottawa.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't Nova Scotia. You've been moved around in half an hour.
Steve, we're going in the air right now, both of us.
All right, we're back looking at the red piste. We have
Which you cannot see the score from here.
no, but we
No.
can see the fencers.
Oh, we can see the fence and we can see the light in their masks, so that tell us who hit who scored.
We have a Hungarian on the right and a Russian on the left. Or sorry, Russians on the right and the Hungarians on the left.
In the past, in the 80s, Hungary have one of the most strongest EB teams in the world.
Oh yes.
I wonder if they're keeping this kind of tradition alive.
Well, today this Hungarian came into the competition ranked 7th, so quite high.
Yeah. They still, Monica, do the ranking through other competition in a year, or
Yes.
the ranking relative to the year past?
The current year, it's a rolling ranking.
A rolling ranking,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
The same like in tennis and yeah, okay. The Russian is scored right now from the red light showed.
Yeah, I believe that last one was actually a double.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So-
according to the refs' signals there.
Yeah. The refs right now does not just indicate the score. He just also his signal shows to the people who's viewing the match who scored, who isn't. Like their signal language.
Yes.
Also. Yeah.
Which is a good thing when you can't actually see the numbers. You can at least look at the ref to see his hand signals.
With the electronic equipment everywhere right now, with all the screens around, it's very easy to follow up fencing.
So I had a question come in asking what this event means for the Canadian guys in the overall season and the big picture. And you know, I think any Grand Prix is great experience for a team. It's not something competition experience is.
It's very valuable.
It is very valuable.
Yeah, and also they're preparing for the next year Olympic Games. The Olympic Games, when is the next game?
It will be 2016 in
2016.
in
So
Rio.
it's a very good start for the qualification for the Canadian team, because you have to qualify internationally to be member of the team, not only nationally.
Right. So, beginning of a new quad and good first year to prepare.
Yeah. You build points actually toward the game for next year. For next year, and the year after that was 2016, the Olympic game coming up. It will be in Brazil.
Yes, in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro. Now you're retired too, so you wouldn't be able to go there, are you?
Not anymore. No.
Not as a competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can definitely go and watch and cheer on all the fencers.
That's a good idea.
I have been to Rio for the Pan Am Games in 2007.
The Russian fencers show a lot of emotion when he score a touch. It's a very emotional game, as you know. Yeah, women show more emotion than men, or men show
I was a
emotion.
very emotional fencer.
You're a very emotional fencer. Well, can you back it up?
Looks like the refs are checking the video replay.
I don't know if they're questioning the last touch, if it is off the strip.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Most
specifically
likely.
they're asking, but yeah. The Hungarian definitely wants the refs to take a look at it.
Can he do that in every touch he's suspicious about, or is it limited?
It's
amount?
limited. You have
How many touches?
you have 2 attempts to ask for the video
in one match. In one match.
Yeah.
One match.
In one direct elimination bout. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get them right, and like
They're still alive.
then you have they don't count towards using one of your video replays.
So only if you are overruled,
Yes, right.
then it count as one.
Yes. So the refs come back to the strip. Oh.
It seems to me it's a very important bout. I see a lot of people are involved there around the strip, including the head of the scoring committee.
We seem to be discussing further.
Yeah. Well, fencing is still emotional sport, and it is still a very much that area of it haven't changed at all. It's been athletic, yes. Electronic equipment been introduced to make it easier to avoid argument.
I feel like the Hungarian is questioning whether or not the wireless was working.
They only apply wireless in the last 16, in the final.
Yeah, the bouts from 32 to the final,
final.
in a Grand Prix
Yeah.
use wireless.
In the Olympic game, do you do the same?
Wireless. The Olympics is completely wireless.
All the way from A to Z,
Yeah.
even the pools.
Well, there's no pools at the Olympics.
Or you just
You
direct.
just fence,
Oh,
direct
they changed that too. So you only the last 64 fencer qualified, ranked qualified,
Yeah.
participate.
And usually it's not even a complete tableau of 64 that qualify. Like it's a very small number that qualify. So it's usually less than 40 people. So
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
So it is a lot easier for a shorter time.
Yeah.
It's just because right now many sports are involved. As you hear, they wanted to to eliminate wrestling.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know, did they make the decision of that final decision yet?
I heard that it was cut. I know that there was some appeal process going on, but yeah, as far as I know,
The cutting is not final, my understanding.
Okay.
Cutting is not final. And I think a lot of people, a lot of nations like India and Persia, like Iran, and people like that who collect medal in wrestling are very upset about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's hard to cut any sport, really. So it's difficult. It's a difficult decision.
But wrestling is one of the oldest, the same like
Yes.
fencing, one of the old wrestling, fencing, boxing,
Yes.
track and field.
Yeah. So there seems to be a lot of discussion, and I'm not sure what the issue is, but
Well, Olympic become right now a big dynasty, and
but there seems to be a lot of officials over there on that strip talking and discussing whatever the issue may be.
There was some major discussions over there or something. Yeah, in 2 seconds I will.
as you notice, you can see the Russian is very experienced fencer. He eliminate himself of getting involved. He is the favor. The touch is in his favor, and he's sitting back and letting everybody else discuss it.
And the double touch, 415. And keep going. First one to connect touch.
Yeah,
Do you think the Russian is coming back again to their image as one of the top nation in the world in fencing?
I think so. I mean, I'm obviously a little more familiar with foil, but I mean, in women's foil,
They are
they're
a power.
Yes, they are.
They are a power.
Yeah,
How about men's foil? They still a power or just?
they're still strong. I actually think probably their women's team is a little bit stronger than the men's, but they're still very good. So Russia tends to produce very good athletes.
Yes. What is? Well, they have the confidence because they've been in the top of the fencing world for a long time.
Yes.
Is China coming back very strong again?
I think it's developing. Again, I'm more familiar with foil.
Yeah.
And their men's foil seems to be doing
Very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
Women's foil still has some progression to make, but again, are starting to make strides. Yeah.
Well, how you see Canadian now? The Canadian have a good foundation in a young fencer coming up.
Well, I know, again, I'm going to stick to foil, unfortunately, but I know the...
Yeah, in ladies foil.
In women's foil, the program is, definitely. We have two of our juniors actually won Junior World Cups this season already. So
really?
Yeah, which I don't...
Junior?
Yeah, junior.
Yeah.
So Alana,
this is Brad's daughter.
Yes, Alana Goldie won a Junior World Cup, and then just recently Eleanor Harvey also won a World Cup, a Junior World Cup. And at that same World Cup, Alana came second. So we had gold and silver at that tournament.
Yeah.
So, definitely huge strides for Canada. I mean...
Yeah, but is the foundation is bigger or only one athlete? Because we see that in skiing, for example, once the crazy Canucks disappeared, like getting old and retired, once in a while we see some Canadian coming up, but we don't have a very broad foundation.
I definitely think there's always room to improve, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
Have fun. I'll be right back. Good job. Go on, break. Right back.
It looks like the fencers are almost getting back on guard now.
Yeah.
Although it seems the Hungarian is still questioning at this point, but going to get back on guard.
I wonder what the score is like.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to continue the bout.
Now the clock stopped, and they're still in the first 3 minutes period, I assume. Yeah, first was...
I guess that was the end of time. So obviously there was not a lot of time left on the clock there.
Yeah. Did they take a rest between the 3 minutes? How much rest they can have?
Between
1 minute?
periods, it's a 1 minute break.
1 minute breaks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have the Canadian men's épée team sitting next to us currently, watching the action.
Well, the Canadian team is completely different than my days. How many generations now away?
I'm not sure. I'm sure there's only maybe one generation between you and them, right?
I doubt that very much.
And then another one
Between you and me, one generation? I doubt that. I think more than one.
All right.
Well, it's nice meeting you. I'm glad to see good Canadian athlete. 6-6.
6-6 on the
In
red tees.
2 seconds left in a second or a first period? Third period, yeah.
So that's why they ran down the clock there, and now they're going into overtime, I guess. And that's probably why the Hungarian was fighting so hard for his last point, because if he had scored it, it would have been the end of the bout with 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
So here they go.
So the Russian made the attack and he scored.
Well, so obviously it's not overtime. They must still be in the regular fencing time because they're still going.
That's right, because we cannot see it from here.
We can't
anyway.
see the score, so forgive us. But the wonderful Canadian men's épée team has informed me that it's now 7-6 for the Russian.
I think right now must be 7-7.
7-7 now, yeah. So very close bout.
These veteran athletes usually meet each other in every competition, usually in a final, and they know each other quite well. That's the reason sometimes is a little bit heated bouts between them.
Yeah, you definitely get to know people.
Yeah. So you don't have a period of try to figure them out. tac, no beret, remise, oui, oui. Touche. Very well. From my estimation, it must be 8-7.
So I just got a question asking which Canadian fencers are still in. So I've brought Vince over to fill us in on the latest results for Team Canada.
You mean at the competition right now? The only one left is Marc-Antoine Blais-Bélanger. He's the best Canadian junior at the moment. The other one who was in was Ulrich Robieri, who lost in the 32 against Matteo Tagliariol. So now I haven't seen the tableau, so I'm not sure who Marc-Antoine is fencing, but he'll be fencing his bout in. We're checking right now for those listening at home. That was the first bout.
I realize. So he won his first bout, which means he'd be...
So he will be fencing Soren Thompson in probably... it's going to be in a while, maybe 40 minutes. Soren Thompson is a 2-time Olympian and also has been in the top 16 for the past 2-3 years. So it was a really strong match, and Marc-Antoine has a lot on his plate to make it through the top 16. It should be fun to watch.
Thanks, Vince.
You're welcome.
There we go. That's the update for the Canadian team.
Vince, can you bring the Canadian team here and introduce them to us? Please. All of you.
What's going on?
My name is Magdi Coned.
Nice to meet you.
I've been generation back.
Okay.
What's your name?
Max.
Max, nice meeting you, Max. Where are you from?
I'm Marc-André Leblanc. I train in Ottawa.
You train in Ottawa?
I train in China.
Good for you. It's a nice place to train. And Vincent, nice meeting you. I think I know you before. We met before.
I've been there a while.
Yeah.
So it's quite
You are a generation of how far back? Carl Schwende generation?
No, I'm not as far back as Carl Schwende, but people of my age include like Charles Saint-Hilaire, which was on the national team for a lot of time, Tarsh Bakos.
That is again after my time, after I retired.
And when I started fencing, the national team was Jean-Marc Chouinard.
Chouinard was there. Yeah, okay.
Novojalski, those guys were the top guys at that time.
Very interesting. Because I retired in 76, and then I came back in 82, and then I retired again in 84. And I haven't seen fencing after that.
In 92. So
well, obviously, far ahead. But it's a pleasure meeting you. I'm glad to see a new, good generation of good fencers.
Actually, I'm one of the old ones now on the international circuit. I don't know how long I'll be doing this.
Well, you never know.
People younger than me are already retiring, like Monica.
Oh, Monica have her own reason, I guess, because her husband doesn't fence. If your wife fences, then you'll be fencing for a long time.
Perhaps.
Well,
we'll see about that. I can still fence against the kids, but it's harder against the top level fencers.
What club you fence in Montreal?
I'm out of Quebec City.
Quebec City.
My club is Club d'Escrime STH. The coach is now, the original coach of the club. The club started only 2 years ago with Charles Saint-Hilaire. And both myself and Ulrich Robieri are training there at the moment. So we got 2 guys on the national team training out of the club.
Is the Club Musketeer in Montreal still alive and doing well?
It's still active, but they don't really have anybody in épée anymore. They're not as strong as they used to be, and they mostly fence foil now.
Well, a good foil fencer can fence épée as well.
People like clubs tend to change from time to time, and different, like the powerhouse move from.
Definitely.
Depending on the few athletes, and then the other tend to go there to train with them. when you get a strong few people together, it's easier to get other athletes from your club to get better because they're always fencing somebody good
That's right.
at the club, so it helps them get better.
I see Vancouver coming along in the map very well too, in a fencing map. They're getting along very well.
Yeah, right
too.
now they're still kind of young, but you can see on the national team. I don't know the exact number, but I know they have quite a few people going to the Cadet World Championship in Croatia during Eastern.
Yeah.
And so that's the generation that you will see on the national team probably in 5 to 10 years. You can probably expect to see two or three guys from the
from
BC
Vancouver
area on the club from the Dynamo fencing club.
Do you still Canada is so far apart, like between Quebec, Ontario, and British Columbia? Do you still communicating with all year round competition between each other?
We only have 3 national tournaments that usually all people from all over the country go. And since the funding cuts that we had from Podium, it's been harder because before we would either do camps all together, usually in Montreal where the national center is, but like people will get their plane ticket paid, so at least that was covered, so they could work around their schedule, and then okay, you come for at least a week to Montreal so we can all train together. And we would also sometimes get together in Europe. So you do a competition, then you can stay for 2 weeks to train with another country. So we have all the Canadians to train together, and also we get a few other training partners at high level.
Yeah.
So that'll help a lot, and hopefully we get to do that a little bit more on our own, because that's one of the best ways to get better. That's why this week most of us are staying in Vancouver to train a few days all together. Since we have so few opportunities, this is a good time to do.
What is the next event right now Canada preparing for?
Right now, we have a trip coming up at the beginning of May, where we will go to Paris for the Challenge Monal, which is one of the toughest World Cup every year. There's going to be probably 250.
Is that replaced Martini Rossi?
Sorry?
Is that this competition replaced Martini Rossi competition? Because we in Paris, most likely,
Yeah. And the week after, we're going to Bern for the Grand Prix Bern, which is also a really strong event. And right now we're staying in Paris in between to train again. All those people are going to do both competitions. Are going to be training together, which is also good for team building. So when you spend a few days,
you
together,
train in what, in sportif, like club sportif in Paris? You train in Paris in a fencing club in Paris?
Yes, I don't know which club yet. We might go to Saint-Marc with Daniel Vavassor's club, which I've been there a few times. Or there's a lot of good clubs in Paris for us to train out of. It's easy in France to get training partners.
Yes.
There's a lot more people fencing in France than there is in Canada.
Is Maitre Talvar still coaching?
I don't believe so.
He retired too? My goodness, I mean, everybody's retiring lately.
Well,
I don't know.
Stop one time.
Well, I don't know. I'm stopping and coming back and stopping and coming back. Now they bring me back again. So it seems to me I'm catching up with you guys.
That's good.
Well, it's really a pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much for coming and speaking with us. And thanks for the other Canadian fencers of coming to join this competition. How you like this competition?
It's good, but for me it's kind of far because I've been training in China for like the past 2 years. So normally this tournament is like short traveling and really comfy, but now I feel the pressure of a big traveling and a big tournament. But they did a pretty good job with the Grand Prix here. The venue is very beautiful.
You see the Chinese right now really having big budget for fencing and training. Where do they get their coaches from?
They like to have some international input, but they like to keep the control of the coaches by Chinese people. There's Daniel Vavasseur, the French coach who was the coach for the women's épée team, but they still have all those Chinese coach that wants to keep the team. But pretty much they have a huge quantity of high-level fencers and coaches in China that they can choose.
And how is a Chinese coach? Where is the Chinese coach trained? Because fencing is in China been only, 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah, it's pretty recent. But they have so many people. They have like professional athletes at the city level, so they have all the city teams, they have provincial teams, they have national teams.
So you have a lot to draw from.
Yeah. And they have like a lot of professional athletes that don't go to school, that have no job, they just train.
Really?
Yeah.
So the socialism and communism in the first degree.
Yeah.
Well,
it's good for the fencing,
of course,
but for the fencers, when they don't succeed after their career,
they have no place to go.
Yeah, they got nothing left. So they recycle as coaches or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the country, China, is a very big country, and obviously they send this ambassador everywhere.
Yeah.
The country is so big, and well, that's a very good sign because they came in a fencing map very fast.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
And if you look at the last Olympics, the first country for the total medals, the first country was Italy, and then it was China and Korea.
Oh, yeah. Italian and French, you don't have to fight anymore for the first place.
Yeah. Well, actually, France, like the last Olympics, did not have a single medal.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very...
Yeah. That was
they invented fencing.
Yeah.
Well,
Italy's still up there, but France, at least at 2012 Olympics, was a little bit difficult.
And how long this national team, Canadian national team, are together now?
They're here. We're here for another 5 days to a week, approximately. We have a training camp. There's a lot of people who made arrangement before the tournament, so they have to leave. But we're a bunch who stays in Vancouver for 4 or 5 days. And
good.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your training here, and good luck
Thank
for
you.
the next competition.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
So
who won the last match?
It
the Russian?
hasn't finished yet.
They haven't finished yet. They still argue about it.
Well, I think there was actually there was wireless issues, which is what they were discussing, and now it looks like they actually took off all the wireless equipment and are just going to fence with the reels.
Well, I thought though that most likely that will happen.
So
if there's question in wiring, so they have to change it.
It's a day of technical difficulties, I guess.
Careful.
Knock on wood.
Now the question is, what the score?
That is a very good question, and I see Vincent Pelletier is going to run over and check for us. Yeah, he's a tall guy, so it'll probably take him about 3 steps to get there. I'm getting feedback that it was a nice interview with Vince, so I'm glad everybody liked it.
9?
8-7.
8-7.
The sign language from Vince says 8-7. For the Russian, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're back on the reels. That was a point for the Hungarian, so 8-8. Again, another hit for the Hungarian. I can't imagine, it's probably quite hard to start fencing a bout now after such a long break and all these problems, and mentally you have to kind of switch gears. Distractions are endless in fencing.
Actually, it's a very nice even bout.
Mm-hmm.
The both fencers are putting the pressure on each other, try to take their timing from each other, and
I think the whole gym is watching this bout right now.
Yeah.
a double hit.
touch.
Stop because it's intermittent signal because everybody on the far side is going second. That's why that handling hard rate. That's the issue with having started. Because the cable when you plug it in, plug it on.
And they're at another break. 1 minute.
Is that the second break?
Oh, you know what? It might be.
The third one?
I'm just looking. Oh, no. Yeah, it looks like this is overtime now. So there's 1 minute of fencing. So they must have been tied. And I think the ref just said that the Hungarian gets priority. It's so hard when you can't see the clock or the score.
Yeah.
There was a touch, but it was after the halt. The Hungarian is asking for video replay. The refs are discussing.
Bonnie, do you want me to get these guys in? Move them down a bit? Yeah.
It's okay. The ref sticks to his call, nothing done, so they're gonna keep fencing.
Thank you, Steve.
I was here for a reason. Don't know nothing about fencing, but I can move people.
Oh, the clock is running down. Oh. And the Hungarian hits. Whew. That was quite the bout. Russians asked for the video. I don't think there should be an issue, though. Yeah, Hungarians won.
It seemed to me the Hungarian won the bout.
Yes, yes, he did. All right, there'll be a little pause here while the other athletes come out.
right back up.
To referees to set up for the next round, please.
Back up. Back up, back up, back up.
The center court, please. The athletes, volunteers, and referees, please. Thank you very much.
I believe we're on. Igor, big event here at the Richmond Oval. First off, congratulations for Dynamo for hosting such a huge event like this.
Yeah, it's a big step for us in the right direction. We're very proud and happy. We'd like to thank our major sponsors, Sport Canada and Heritage Canada, and Absolute Fencing for giving us this opportunity to run this event.
Yeah, always tough to put on events like this without the sponsorship. Of course, the Richmond Oval, they've been huge, and people that have basically endorsed fencing from square one.
Yeah, they're huge supporters. We have a big partnership with them, and we thank them every day for this opportunity. They went through a lot to get us here, and this was a last-minute event for us. So we planned all this in 5 months as Stockholm pulled out of the event, and we took this and ran with it.
What do you do to succeed and go beyond this step for the club? Because you've made such huge strides from when you and I first started discussing about different broadcasting for the events.
Well, this isn't showcasing our fencing club. This is showcasing Canada, and right now I have the Team Canada hat on. The Dynamo Fencing Club is now on the side for this event. Yeah, it's run 90% through our own people, but this is a show for the entire country and the international fencing body. It's a 100-year anniversary, and we really want to make a big show for the entire world.
We would be completely remiss if we did not make mention that the volunteers that have helped put this on, it would be tough to do without the success of the volunteers.
Yeah, it's just like any other sporting event. You need volunteers and people to do it. We have an amazing committee. We have a lot of donations. One of the major things that we got was through a friend and a very close friend, Omer Arbel, who designed the co-designer of Vancouver 2010 Olympic medals, and today we'll be releasing the medals from Omer for the Vancouver Grand Prix.
That's got to be sweet to see. I hope we get a chance to display one of those actually before they actually are given out to the athletes.
Yeah, well, we will. They're on display all weekend, and we've only had amazing feedback from them.
Well, anything, if they're anything like the medals for the 2010 Olympics, they're just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they are better.
Yeah, no kidding. A little bit of pressure put on you there. Now, without getting into real technical stuff, we watched the last bout over there with the fencers. There was issues with, I guess, wireless connection. Can you briefly give us a synopsis of what took place?
It's just...
somebody's phoning you and telling you no.
That's okay. It's just...
It's only Monica, that's okay.
I'm sorry, I really have to take this call.
I bet you do. Yes, it's his girlfriend saying, what are you going to bring home for lunch? He's going to find that out later on. Monica, come on over here a minute. We've got this here. I'm already standing. I haven't moved at all. But big discussion out on the floor right now as we're watching them. Mm-hmm. Big discussion about the connections, apparently.
Yeah, with the wireless system. I think they made the right choice. I mean, if there's major issues with the wireless and it's not working and could affect the bout, then yeah, I mean, the reel is right there. Just hook it up and then you're ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Those things happen. All right, we're going to turn our attention and go back to one of the ones that I believe George has the one behind us. So we'll let you and Magdy get back in the area and get set up to go again. Where did Magdy go? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the side of the piste in the Richmond Oval. Steve Erickson, and we're joined by the head coach, I'm told.
No,
that's what you got promoted to. You got a promotion, Vince. So okay,
I coach a few guys today. But
that's what I'm hearing. So tell us what we're watching at right now, and I believe we're on the first one here.
On the yellow strip, it's Ulrich Robieri on the French team, who is quite an accomplished fencer. He has numerous titles in individual and team World Cups. And he's fencing Morgiev, which is a young Russian fencer who I haven't seen fence a lot, so I cannot describe to you his style, but Robieri is a tall, lanky guy, but in really great shape. And he uses a lot of his athleticism to do his touches and also using his reach. And as you can see, he's using a French grip, which is given an additional inch or two compared to a pistol grip handle.
Well, that works in your favor if you're a tall individual too.
Exactly.
So we're back and we're watching it. So on your mind,
now they're asking the coach Hugo Brie to move a little bit so we can see the bout.
Yeah, just so we can see the bout, but we appreciate that. So we appreciate that very much, just so we can see what's going on. But we've watched earlier on today. We watched the young Russian fence earlier on. He's got a pretty good style too.
He's the new generation of Russian have a little bit similar style. They're very active, and they tend to be very explosive. So they'll move, and try to get you at the right distance to flash into you. And we'll see if he tries that against Robieri, even if Robieri is a lot taller than he is.
Do you find that's getting more technical in the world now, where when you look at countries, for example, like Russia, just to name one, that they're getting more into the study, the overall development and the finesse of the game or the match?
I don't think there's a big difference. I think the biggest difference, especially in épée, as I've seen, is that a lot more countries are getting better. So it's not just a game of let's say, the Hungarian, Italian, and French. Now you see people from all over the world performing very well at the international level. And then you can see the Russian school and the French schools. You'll see different schools, but there's not a lot of evolution. It's a lot more, I believe, of just the fencers getting better and peaking at the right time.
How do you, that's the key question right there, is how do you make it better and how do you make it change to become so much better? That's tough to do. I mean, it seems like a simplified sport, but how do you make it better to take it to the next level?
Well, it is very technical, so that's why you see a lot of fencers getting better still in their late 20s and early 30s and performing very well once they get there, because it's so technical that even when people start getting used to you, you can still work for a year on the new action, and then you can surprise them, and it gives them something to think about that they don't expect. So you still have to work, and people will get better with age, of course, but just the training and the competition gets you to improve your level, of course. But I don't know why the break is about to finish, but
well, we talked about Olympic level athletes coming to this event. This is a nice feeling to be able to see these fencers in our own backyard in Richmond.
And a lot of the fencers who were at the last Olympic Games were here today.
So just started the second period. So I'll let you, with your expertise, explain everything that they're doing out there.
All right, now as I explained before, the Russian was moving very well, changing the distance, and he used that to break the distance to attack with a flash against Robieri, who was caught standing still a little bit and didn't have time to extend his arm to try to get the hit before the Russian. And now the French tried a flash but was parried and was unable to do a remise. But fortunately for him, the Russian was unable to put his riposte in. So we start again still at 4-4.
Tied at 4.
And now the touch is cancelled because the French actually touched his knee instead of his opponent.
Very, very good camaraderie amongst all the fencers that are competing at this weekend.
Usually, yes. You have a few exceptions, but most guys will handily save. They touch the floor, for example, and just cancel the touch, or in that case, when they touch themselves by accident.
Well, for the most part, honesty does pay off in certain aspects of it.
Exactly, and if you're honest with the other people, the other fencer will tend to be more honest with you too.
Exactly true.
And the last touch, while we were talking, the French tried to do a feint disengage, but the Russian was able to put back his tip to score a double. And then the Russian tried to flash again, but the length of the French allowed him to get a single touch on this action.
Interesting to note that we're back to the wireless right now.
Well, the problem's only on one strip, but even on that strip, they're fencing wireless now.
So they obviously got the problem maybe fixed.
Well, I believe so, but I've not talked to the technical people, so I don't know what the problem was and how they were able to solve it. Hopefully it doesn't come up in the other bouts today.
True.
You hate to see someone lose because of a technical problem.
Yeah, that's very true.
He was beaten by his opponent.
That's very true.
Now, a little bit lucky touch by the Russian. He caught Robieri on the back arm. So even if his flesh was a little out of distance and was parried, he was able to get the hit. Sometimes that's part of fencing and épée. You sometimes get lucky. The Russian tried to flash again, but he did not, I believe, in my opinion, prepare it well enough. And Robieri was ready for him and just parried and riposted him with a cart while going a knee to the ground.
He did.
And for those watching at home, hopefully you can see well enough that the French is really stable in his movement, on his legs, and also with his tip. He's moving his hand very little, except when he wants to do his action, while the Russian is really looking for the blade and trying to swipe it away.
Is the Russian fencer trying to make that elusive, perfect tag?
No, I think he's just trying to get a feeling for the blade, and once he gets the blade, he'll try to get in. Because of the reach advantage of the French, it's really hard for the Russian to try to attack directly. So he needs to prepare, and most of the time would try to look for the blade before to control the Frenchman's blade. Just like he did now with his toe action. He first moved the blade away and then went for the foot. But the Frenchman seems a lot more comfortable now. He's not as tentative as he was at the beginning in the first period with his leg movement.
No, he seems to be a little more relaxed.
Exactly, and that's helping him a lot. And of course, when you have the lead, it's easier to relax than when it's a close bout.
True.
Get more comfortable, and he knows that if they score a few doubles, it's still good for him. He's keeping his lead and working from there.
Well, you can get comfortable, but don't get yourself overconfident. I guess that's the key right there.
Yeah. So now we're ending the second period 9-7 in favor of Ulrich Robieri.
So, putting you on the spot, the French coach is going out to have a little bit of a discussion with him. What would he be talking to him, and what would he be saying about?
Well, right now, I don't think he has a lot to say. He just has to confirm that what Robieri is doing is working quite well. He has a good feeling from the movement of the Russian now. He's moving a lot better, which is helping. And even he can vary. Like the last few flash of the Russian have not really worked because Robieri is ready for them.
Well, he's ready. Obviously, the French fencer doesn't seem overly too concerned, but it's always good to go and get a sort of a second opinion, just to more or less peace of mind, if nothing else.
Exactly. Sometimes just when it's going well, you just want the coach to confirm what you're already thinking. So you just feel even more confident about, okay, that's really what I need to do. Like it's been working, let's keep doing it.
Yeah, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Exactly. Like force the other guy to change to beat you.
Correct.
And of course, he might have added one or two tips in case the Russian came back. Say, okay, maybe you can try with your own attack or feint disengage, something that would add a good chance of working for Robieri.
It never hurts to get a second opinion from anybody.
Yeah. Well, especially when your coach is Hugo Robieri, who's a former world champion as well as an Olympic medalist.
I applaud those people that give back to the program like that. I think it's so great because it's for the success of the program to keep it growing and just keep going.
Well, is that you just get a transmission of all the knowledge that you acquired over the years as a fencer, and a good athlete does not necessarily make a good coach, especially if he's a very athletic athlete. But Hugo Robieri is a really good technical and tactical fencer, so that's something that he can really bring and help his students learn.
Well, he's not pacing too much anyway. He's just slowly watching his fencer.
Yeah, well, for those who know him, he's like that because the body's going well. He has a temper, hot blood, and he can start yelling when things are not going well for his fence. Mostly when his fencer is doing bad actions. Not necessarily when he's losing, but when he's making big mistake, he will get really upset. But luckily for him right now, Robieri is doing very well. The Russian was able to get one touchback with a flash while moving the blade away before he started, but the last two touch, Robieri was able to do two. One stop it, and the last one, I believe, was another counter-attack to the body.
Almost tried for a toe hit on that one.
Yeah. Well, the Russian has been trying to go to the toe a few times, but since the Frenchman is doing well, he's ready to just move back out of the way. And as you saw, like I told you before, that the doubles were, when you're in the lead, are good for you. So Robieri was quite happy to get a double in the last hit. It's working fine for him, and he can just cruise.
It's okay.
He's just trying to cruise over, again, forcing the Russian to change his game. Robieri right now is just waiting for the Russian to commit. And then he places his tip on his opponent's body to get the double.
And double touch on that one?
Yes. So again, like the Frenchman is waiting, keeping a big distance from the Russian. The Russian tried to take the parry again to touch, which he was able to do before in the bout. But the problem is on that touch, the Frenchman was keeping a big distance, and he was not in too much danger of getting a single hit against him. That's also the experience of a fencer who's been on the world circuit for a long time. Robieri knows that he doesn't need to take big risk to get a single hit. He can just continue with the double until the end and win.
That's true. $14-11, time's ticking down. 30 seconds left.
And now, since the Russian was not really doing much, and Robieri had been patient, he surprised him with the long attack, disengage attack, to get the win. 15-11.
So they got the win, 15-11.
Yeah, he's moving on to the top 16.
So that will advance and move to the top 16 to see how things play out for him. Your overall impressions of the match?
We saw that at the beginning that Robieri was a little bit more tentative and not letting his legs go and just moving well. As soon as he started doing that, that's when he really started to get control of the bout. Every time he was keeping a big distance, usually things would go his way, either a single or a double. Either way, it was good for him because he has the lead.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out. We want the best in quality for you and the viewers around the entire world. We welcome you wherever you're watching this internet broadcast on sportswave.ca. You can send Monica a tweet. She was doing lots of tweets earlier on about where you're watching from, what you would like, any questions you would like us to ask some of the fencers or their coaches. So please do so. You can send her a tweet, and we will come back right after this quick timeout.